Welcome out, Kojaks fans, to Kojaks Live Saturday night. Kojaks we're a month off, May the 8th. We've got a 5 on the button round of each, buy-ins 1,000 to 5,000. Next week on the 15th, we have a fun game. We have no limit hold'em only, 25-50 blinds next week. So here we go. Cards in the air. Kelly Jean, the dealing machine. Spinning them around the table. And it looks like by the quantity of cards, we're starting on PLO. Pot Limit Omaha, 5 on the button. So we've got Mr. Donnie Johnson sitting seat number 1. Billy Ward sitting in 2. OBR sitting in 3. Joni sitting in 4. Christopher Thomas sitting in 5. Zach Dishman sitting 6. Jeremy sitting 7, just waiting on everybody else to get here. We went ahead and started them up. Joining me today in the booth is Mr. Joshua Dent. Hi guys. See, that's Josh. Just kidding. He's over here being silent Susie, so we'll have to loosen him up and get him out.
Oh, I'm just watching for now. I was sitting at the house, wanted to come up here, watch little cards, be able to comment a little bit instead of just texting and keeping up on Facebook.
So as the action started, it looks like we have 3 players in the pot. 3 players. Action Tractor tablet's getting caught up. And did Donnie just flop the straight?
Donnie did flop it, and this is his first appearance on the live stream. Was talking to him a second ago. Was very excited to be able to play tonight.
So we are starting off on no limit hold'em, I think. And just like that, Donnie flopped the straight, and that held to be the best hand. Nobody was paired up. And we're not on PLO. I mean, hold'em. It looks like PLO.
It does look like that. It might be just switching it over at the moment on the tablet in order to pick up all of the cards.
So there's your buy-ins. Chip count starting off. Billy Ward starting off the night. He bought in at table max 5,000. Jeremy bought in at 3,000, and it disappeared before we could get it. And button moves over to second seat. Mr. Billy Ward. Hand number 2 of PLO. Players, if you're ready for some tournament action, we do have our famous Deep Stack tournament starting tomorrow. Tomorrow, 240 get you in. Get you 40,000 chips. 40,000 chips, 240. Come out, take part of some of Kojak's biggest prize pools, and win you some money. We'll also be giving away a voucher into our summer mini series. Mr. Chase, otherwise known as OBR to the online players, he's going to pot it up, make it look like 15. 5 on the button, 15 to play. Mr. Jeremy does make the call, as does Donnie. And I can say Billy's either going to make the call or he's going to pot it. He chooses to just make the call, so we've got 3-4 players in the pot. Pot sitting right around $60. First action on OBR. And it looks like he bets the pot. Flop comes out. Jack of spades. 8 of spades. 5 of diamonds. Action folds over to Mr. Clark. He's going to make the call. Action folds around. Heads up action. Turn card comes out. Ace of diamonds. OBR is reaching for a big stack. He's got some black chips there. It looks like he bet the pot again. So he went pot pre-flop, pot on the flop, and pot on the turn. If he was dry firing with aces on the flop, that ace of diamonds was his golden card. So it could be a hidden one right there. And Jeremy does let it go. And OBR chooses not to show. Miss Lucy makes the call under the gun.
It does look like Zach pots it in this spot.
$20. $20 is the first pot action. So we see Zach's potting it up with ace of clubs, queen of spades, eight of spades, seven of clubs, double suited with a bunch of straight draws in there. So we've got 5 players going to the flop, $100 in the pot with a $20 pot bet. Deuce of hearts, 10 of hearts, jack of clubs. Jeremy's got a flush draw. And that's until we see Miss Joni's hands, that's all the flush draws we see. We see a couple straight draws. Jeremy's looking for the queen, as is Donnie. Donnie's looking for the queen to the higher straight, though. Nope.
So Donnie flops 2 pair in this spot with Jack 10. It looks like it's going to be him and Joni that make it to the turn.
Eights of hearts does complete the flush, but Mr. Clark folded the jack high flush. Joni's going to pot it up. She very easily could be holding the king, queen of hearts. And just like that, hand is over. Joni pulls in a nice little win. She's up to 1.5 thousand. Christian's at 1,000. Donnie and Zach are both right there at 1,000. That was the min buy for this table.
And it looks like we have Jamie that's going to be sitting down at the table here pretty quickly. I will say with this particular lineup, I'm pretty excited to be able to watch some of these players play because we have some players that, with history and with each other, just love to play back against each other. I'm looking forward to probably some pretty interesting pots throughout the night as they start to get into it and start to play their game against each other a little bit more.
Yes, Mr. Thomas looks down at queens with a jack deuce, and he's going to raise it up. And Billy finds some monster. Billy's monster's well hidden. 8-7-7-6. Those seem to be his favorite type of Pot Limit Omaha hands. Actions cruised on around to Miss Joni. It'll be $70 to make the call. Actions now $75. And as we say at Kojak's, if you're calling 5, you're calling 75. I don't know that anybody's going to fold for the 75. Once the first person calls, it's like a domino effect, and it just moves on around the board, as we see here. So Billy's built him up a nice little pot. It should be around $380 in the pot. Oh, I missed one, 450. Flop comes out, 4 of clubs, 9 of spades, ace of diamonds. That puts Chase in the lead with ace king. And that deuce of hearts is going to be a good bluff card for Billy. But he does not choose to execute on it. Miss Joni picks it up. Button moves over to C number 5, Miss Joni. Just kidding, Mr. Christian. So the game just got a whole lot more exciting now that Mr. Jamie sat down. He came down to grace us with our private game on Wednesday nights, and he liked what he saw here, so he's hanging around.
Looks like dummy calls, Billy pots.
Billy's going to pot her up. That's what he does best. So we are going to have three-way action. Mr. Donnie Johnson, Billy Ward, and Mr. Jamie Croshaw.
Croshaw is correct.
Flop comes out. Ace of clubs, king of spades, 6 of clubs. Donnie's got to love that. He's got the second drawable nut flush draw. Not exactly sure what Jamie does have in his hand.
And Jack 10 is going to chop. Donnie and Billy are going to both make Broadway on the river and chop this one up.
Yep, the live Jack in both hands. Jack 10, Ace Jack, choppy chop. Billy's down to 48. Jamie's at 3,000 where he bought in. Jeremy's at 29. Joni's at 23. Chase is at 19. Everybody else is right around the $1,000 marker. So we had another WPT step number 1 tournament up at Kojak's today. I'm not exactly sure who won, but I do know that Joni came in second place again. We'll get the numbers, let you know who did win that, and get it out live for you.
So on this particular hand, we have Zach on the button. He puts a 5 out there. Jeremy loves a straddle, so he's got 10. And then Jamie, who likes to play big pots, he's got his straddle for $20. So it's going to be 20 to come in on this hand. Looks like we have a sleeper straddle over in front of Billy for 40. So we're looking at potentially a decent sized pot. Going to get pulled back as Donnie makes the call for 20.
So it went straddle, straddle.
almost got through to the sleeper triple straddle, but Donnie ends up making that call. Billy didn't like his hand, so he's able to pull it back and fold.
OBR and Joni, or OBR makes the fold. Joni makes the call. Donnie's got a beauty. Christian makes a re-raise. Action's now going to be $115. $115. Action's now over to Zach. Zach's counting out. I see 300 out in front of him. 400. 500.
Looks like he pots this because Jamie's already got his chips out in front of him. So it looks like Zach pots it with his hand. Yeah. Jamie almost snap calls as soon as Jeremy folds. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. But with that double straddle, you're looking at a bigger pot because as soon as the players start locking the hands, they're gonna start putting their chips out there.
Jamie calls the 400. Zach 3-betted is what it was. He 3-betted up to 420. Jamie had his chips in the pot before Zach could even get his out. Zach's got aces with a single suit. Jamie's got an ace destroyer, and he knows that. He's extremely experienced in 4-card and 5-card games. Flop comes out. King, 8, deuce. No help for either person. Jamie does have runner for both king high straight and 6 high straight.
Zach opts to go ahead and push this one, kind of take it down exactly where it is instead of letting Jamie catch up.
And it's going to be a no call by Jamie. Jamie did not even have a pair. His high card was a jack, so he could not make the call there. And just like that, Zach is 50% up on his initial buy-in of 1,000. He's at 1,500. Buttons moved around to Mr. Jeremy Clark. So this will be the next to last hand of Pot Limit Omaha. First action is going to be on Mr. Jamie, but Jamie straddled.
So Donnie's going to be the one that kind of opens this up. Jamie straddled. Like I said, Jamie likes to play in some of those bigger pots, and so I'd be surprised if we see him not straddle tonight. Donnie with another strong suited ace. He laid that last one down. Starts off with calling Jamie's straddle.
Billy would have definitely played that hand had he been there, but he was not. This has the makings to be a juicy pot with at least 6 callers. And option over on Mr. Jamie now. And he does check it. So we're going to go 7-way action to the flop. $70 in the pot. No fold buttons at Kojak's. Flop comes out. Jack 8-8. And Jamie holds the lone 8. He is sitting 62% to win this hand. And he is first to act. And he checks it. Turn card comes out. 4 of spades. Or 4 of clubs, excuse me. 4 of clubs. Jamie's going to try to milk that 8. Try to prevent any straight draws that are in there. Push them on out of there. Chase now has top and bottom pair, Jack and 10, or 4. Oh, and we saw a pair of 5s folded. I don't remember who had a pair of 5s in their hand, but they just folded 5s full of 8s. Action's now on Jamie. Pot's setting about $220, and he's going to throw 2 black ones out there and bet the pot at the same time. And it goes fold, fold. Jamie picks up. $440, nice little $160 profit. Wasn't much in that hand for him to get it. Had someone had aces, kings, or queens, he could have got some action.
And with the button moving on over to Jamie, this will be our last hand of PLO before we move on to Texas Hold'em.
So this is quite a change from the 5 on the button round of each last week. We had one person bust on the second hand, another person bust on the 5th hand. This one's been kind of a mellow start, and especially with this lineup, you would never expect it to be so mellow. Billy's going to pot it up with 9-8-8-6. We see this a lot with him. Chase makes the call with 10-10-7-6. Miss Joni makes the call with Queen, Jack 7. Christian makes it with Ace, King 4. We've got the makings of a big hand brewing. Actions now to Christian. He's probably going to raise it up. And he does do exactly that. He's going to 3-bet it. Actions now $110. We could see some funny business here. And we don't. That's just one black chip headed towards the pot. 110, he does make the call.
Looks like Donnie, Billy, and Chase all like their hands enough to make that call as well.
Oh, if you're calling 5 at Kojak's, you're calling 105.
And that is very accurate. We hear that quite often. So it looks like we are going to go 6 ways to this flop. Comes out 4 of diamonds, 5 of spades, and king of clubs. So Christian right here flops top set. Chase, on the other hand, flops the open-ended straight draw. So Christian is most likely going to continue with this bet.
Billy at the same time is looking for a 7 for the 8 high straight.
Looks like Christian does go all in this spot.
If you're willing to pot it pre-flop, you might as well pot it on the flop, and that's what he does with the best hand right now. Not the best drawing hand, but the best hand as of we speak. We know all the kings are gone. There are no more kings in the deck. Donnie's got the last one that just went in the muck. Chase is trying to make sense of why, but he's got to know even King Deuce has him beat right now. We know at the moment, though, Mr. Christian is holding the absolute nuts.
We also do know from looking at Billy's hand, and then there was someone else as well that had pocket 3s, that 4 of those 8 straight outs are not in play anymore. They were folded into the muck.
Billy had pocket 8s. Somebody had pocket 5. No, nobody had pocket 5s. And Christian's going to pull it in with the best hand at the moment. $1,300 pushed over to him, a $550 profit. And just like that, we're starting to loosen up. Billy's got 4.6 thousand, Jeremy 2.8, Jamie 2.6, Joni 2.1, Chase 1.7, Zach 1.5, Christian 1.3, and Donnie is just under $900. But as you know, with Pot Limit Omaha, one hand, that's why a lot of poker players like to play this, one hand can put you far in the positive. We are on No Limit Hold'em. No Limit Hold'em. Buttons over on Mr. Donnie, and Billy's already got his 10 out there to straddle. Oh, we're not playing round of each. We're playing straight PLO. My bad. My bad. I am confused week to week. So, Billy straddling in Pot Limit Omaha. Tonight is only Pot Limit Omaha. High. So, Billy's got the 10 straddle out there. So Billy's going to raise it up to $50 when action comes on him. That leaves a $40 call for the remaining 4 players in the pot. And we've got $250 in the pot. Flop comes out. 3 of spades, 7 of clubs, deuce of spades.
So it looks like Donnie right here is sitting on the nut flush draw with ace, queen of spades. Jeremy, on the other hand, has the jack high spade draw.
Things could get pretty nasty if we do see another spade. Joni's looking for a 5. However, Christian's holding 2 of them. Joni's representing the ace high flush draw. She bets out with 75, and she gets 2 callers. Turn card of an ace of diamonds. Donnie now has the best hand all around. He's got the best draws and top pair with second to bottom pair. Jeremy is sitting dead in the water and bets $275. Donnie's already got $275 worth of green counted out. Those go right into the pot. Action now over to Miss Joni. Joni's got a pair of aces with 664. She's looking for a 5. 5 is her money card. Christian folded 2 of them on the last street. And as it should, her hand does go in the muck. So Donnie's already got the check mark before we even see the river card. The river card comes out a deuce. No help to any person on the table. First action's on Mr. Clark. And I figure he might give up right here. But a strong bet, a pot bet here at this point, with 1,000 sitting in the pot, would force Donnie to fold since spades did not come. And Jeremy does check. That's going to let Donnie says, my hand's good. I'm all in, $475. Before he can even get it out, Jeremy's cards do go in the muck. And Donnie does raise his chip stack from below 1,000 to now $1,500. Hand number 8 of R5 on the button, Pot Limit Omaha Night. Chase sitting under the gun with Queen Jack suited 5-3 off. As we all know, 5-3 is automatic winner here. That is the Charlie hand. But he does choose to let it go. Action's now over on Miss Lucy. She makes the call. Ace Queen 10-3. Christian's got a monster right behind her. However, it's not suited. He's got rainbow suits in his hand, but he does have pocket aces. And he does pot it up to $20. Zach's going to follow right behind him, as does Jamie. He's going to 3-bet it. It's now $90. Both Billy and Donnie do let it go. Action's over to Miss Joni. 90 to play. $85 to make this call. And she snaps it off. Flop comes out 10 of clubs, 4 of clubs, 6 of spades. Christian is still in the lead. However, we do not see Mr. Zach's hand.
So as the action made its way over to Jamie, Jamie opts to pot it for $365. Christian comes right along with him. Get another 6 on the turn. This could be a scare card for Christian at this point. Right now he has the top and third pair, including his aces. All 4 aces are out. As we know, Jamie and Joni both had one.
And that's a hard board for Jamie to bluff because he can't represent aces because Christian's holding them. But he tries to. All in, all in. Whoo! All in, all in. They elect to run it 2 times. 8 and a 3 on the turn and river. And that's our 6 and a 3. No, it was 8 and 3 on the turn in the river. Christian's going to win top board with aces and 6s. And the bottom board with aces and 6s. So Christian is not scared by the guys that usually play the private game. He stuck it in there with the best of it, and it did hold up. Once again, we'd like to welcome everybody out as we just went live. We are on our 30-minute delay. Double counting the chip stacks just to make sure that the correct amount is slid between player to player. Goes to show you that there's going to be no bullying tonight. Players are here to play. If they think they've got it, they're going to put it in. Over to hand number 9. Hand number 9. Button on it is on Mr. OBR. That's going to put Miss Joni under the gun. Joni's going to look down at a monster. She hadn't even seen it yet, but I can tell you she's probably just going to call right here. That way she can repot it when somebody else makes a raise. She's looking at pair of aces double suited, and she does just that. She does make the call. As does Christian, as does Zach, just like that. I like Zach's hand out of everything we've seen so far. I do not like Jamie's hand. But Jamie loves it. He's going to pot it up. $25 to play now, and that's just what Joni wanted. Donnie makes the call with King 10, 8 deuce, double suited. Billy behind with Queen 96 suited makes the call. Chase, Ace King 8 7, he's going to make the call. And this is where Joni should push her hand.
I mean, this is exactly what she was wanting to set up here. I mean, she's under the gun with pocket aces. She wants to bring along as many, and that's exactly what she does. 3 bets it up to 160.
Called it before it even happened.
Drew it out exactly like she planned. So here's the thing, though. Christian behind with ace king, he folds.
There are no aces left in the deck.
No aces left. So
Not very many diamonds. Not very many diamonds. Jamie's holding 4 of them. Chase is holding 2 of them. If we see 3 diamonds on the flop and they both call, we could see some dynamite. Because Chase has the second nut draw, and Jamie's got the 4th nut draw. And Billy jumps in there with queens. Water's warm, jump on in. And here goes Chase grabbing some chips. So we're looking at $675 sitting in the pot now. Flop comes out 7 deuce 7, and the man with the least percent on the flop, pre-flop, now has the largest percent to win. So Chase's call right there was astronomically good for him. Joni went from 20% pre-flop to 2% after that flop came out. She bet $675. It's going to fold all around to Chase, and Chase is going to have to make the crying call. And I don't know if it's a crying call because he does have 3 7s.
With an ace. I mean, the only thing that beats him at this point is just pocket deuces. I mean,
Seven deuce.
Or seven deuce. Yes, correct. So 2 hands. I apologize. I've been driving most of the day. Went up to Lubbock today, so I had a little bit of time away with the wife, but wanted to come back in here, visit with Charlie for a little bit, and be able to join you all here on the live stream.
And Chase does make the call. He does not repot it back. Did you notice that, though? He wants to leave him an out just in case a scare card, an ace or a king, comes on the turn. So Joni bets $675. Chase says all in. Action is now to Miss Joni. $900 to her. She's got 1.1 thousand effective. And she's going to make the call. She's not going to like what she sees.
And that's the case, queen on the turn, because Billy had
Billy would have swept the top board. Bottom board comes Jack 5. Joni flips over her aces. Chase is going to show the 7. He's going to sweep both pots. What a devastating flop for Joni. That's the only flop that beats her with Chase. Oh, what a terrible card for her. What a good card for OBR, or Chase. That is our first all in right there, isn't it?
No, so we've had several. So we had Christian that doubled up.
That's right.
Christian doubled up with aces. And then in this particular hand, the only thing that you can see after this one is Billy telling him nice bet.
Yeah.
Because if he sees that turn card, I mean he has it wrapped up. So the only thing he can say is nice bet, move on to the next hand. But so that we've already seen a couple all-ins. We saw Jamie and Christian kind of go at it back and forth. Christian scoops with pocket aces. They run it multiple times. And in that spot, OBR is going to scoop with trips, 7s, and an ace kicker is going to be the winner for that one. So already about, 40 minutes in the stream, we've already had several all-ins, several double-ups. Just some kind of interesting play, and then some devastating hands. Pocket aces worked for Christian, did not work so well for Joni.
It's crazy how they can work one time and not work another.
No, it was back-to-back hands, too.
Yeah.
Back-to-back hands. Christian had them, and then the very next hand, he was probably talking about how aces worked for him, and Joni looks down, sees pocket aces double-suited.
In No Limit Hold'em, 2 cards. Pocket aces are good almost all of the time. I'd say probably 60% of the time they're good, over half. Here, they hardly ever hold up, but they're so pretty to have.
Jamie does like that pot word, so he's going to pot it with ace, 7, 5, deuce, and 3 spades in his hand. He likes those 3 and 4 card flushes in his hand.
Yeah, well, that's all he's getting. He likes action.
And because of that, looks like he's going to get action back. Donnie, Billy, Chase, looks like everyone's going to be coming into this pot.
Flop comes out 9 of diamonds, 6 of spades, ace of clubs. Jamie's going to bet $100 on the flop with the jack. Chase is going to make the call with 6-9. Jack 6-9 now in his hand. Jamie is at a little bit of a disadvantage. He is behind in the hand, and he leads out with $375. He is putting the pressure on Chase. Both of these players right here have a lot of history with online play, so they are very well versed. I don't know if they know it's each other that are playing against each other online, but we do. And they have a lot of history playing against each other. And Chase does let 3 pair go. He does not think it's good. Which, by the time it gets to the river, it could not be good. Button is now over on Zach. Attack.
Oh, Jamie's moving over seats. Looks like Jamie wants to stay a little bit closer to his friend OBR. Might have realized who it was, decides he wants to get a little bit closer. Looks like Jeremy does straddle for 10. Donnie looks down at pocket queens, jack 3. One of his queens is suited, once again holding 3 cards to a flush in his hand. Decides to just call.
Jamie's going to raise it up to 50. Action is now $50.
Donnie and Chase decide they both want to come along, so we're going to go 3 ways to the flop, which comes out 9-8-3. 2 spades on the flop. No one holding a flush draw.
$165 in the pot. And Jamie elects to check it.
and Donnie, who starts off with pocket queens, looks like he's got trip 3s, but so does Jamie with an ace.
And Jamie's going to bet this out $150. Donnie's going to make the call. River card's going to decide this. Be nice if we saw a jack split pot, which we do not see. And Jamie's ace 3 does hold up. He's going to pull in a $465 pot. Just like that, he's climbing back up to even. Wasn't he in the game for 2 or 3?
I believe he was in the game for 2, if I remember correctly. Donnie's looking down with his pocket queens, wondering, I wonder if my 3 with my random card's going to get me there, only to be beat by ace 3.
Jamie was in the game for 14. He is up $265.
Looks like they must have convinced Donnie to straddle for 10. We have a straddle for 10. Billy, of course, coming along with that double straddle for 20. And then we have a sleeper straddle for 40. And that looks like Jamie over there that did that. So it's going to be up to Chase under the gun here.
And Chase does like to kill sleeper straddles.
He does. So it'll be interesting to see what he decides to kill this one with, or if he decides to let it go through.
Yeah, so any 4 cards he could call right here just to kill it. And he elects not to. He says, I like to kill him.
So Jamie's triple straddle for 40 is live. So now it is 40 to come into this hand. Christian folding the small straight, deuce 3, 4, 5. It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out too, because Jamie likes pushing those bigger pots. So if you come along behind with calling his straddle, I would be surprised to see him check it through.
Action's now on Jamie. He does raise it up $165. So we're going to have 3-way action going to the flop. 3-way action going to the flop. Flop comes out, Queen of Hearts, 7 of Hearts, 5 of Hearts. Checks around, 9 of Spades comes out on the turn. Everybody's a little bit timid now. Billy's got the straight with King 10. And he's going to bet it. Jamie does make the call. And he might get Donnie to make the call also. Billy looks mighty comfortable sitting over there. In the coming weeks, we will have our new table, new cameras, and our tables will be mic'd up for the listening. We will let you get a little taste of what it's like sitting live at the table. We might have to put it on Kojak's After Hours due to the language that's used, but we will put it out there. Donnie does seem reluctant to make the call. It's hard to make a call here at this point when all you truly have is Jack 5. And someone's bet to your left and someone's call to your right. That makes your two pair, when it's not Queen Jack, that makes your two pair slight small. A lot of flush draws out there, straight draws out there, 6-8, 8-10, 10 King. And I'm pretty sure Billy is the one holding the King 10. Donnie does let it go. Billy's fishing out his King 10. And Jamie's cards go belly down. Pot's pushed over to Billy with King 10 for the straight. And just like that, we have a new dealer in the house. Welcome, Miss Yvonne. We've already, although OBR did not straddle last hand for 20, he chose, or 40, he chose this hand to do the 20. So we've got button, straddle for 10, straddle for 20, straddle for 40. Live 40 sitting out there.
That was one of the things I said about this particular lineup whenever I came in today, was that this was going to be an exciting lineup to watch because you have several players who are not afraid to play big hands against each other. And so whenever I came in and saw that, I was excited to be able to come back here, visit with Charlie, and comment on how the night goes.
And I think that was why Jamie wanted to switch seats so he could get the straddle going on that side of the table, because he knows Billy's going to straddle every chance he gets, and that gives him the opportunity to straddle right behind him. Christian, Mr. Thomas has been looking forward to the live stream for several weeks now. He's been wanting only a PLO game, and we've got it.
Makes a very disciplined fold with pocket deuces.
Mr. Jeremy does make the call of the $40 straddle, live 40. Jamie's going to do what he does best. He's going to raise her up. Raisy daisy. Looks like 170. 200. I misread that, and Jeremy snaps it with King 10, 7, 6. Action's now on Donnie.
If we see a couple clubs come on this particular flop, this one can get pretty exciting as Billy's holding the nut flush draw.
Jeremy's got second.
And Jeremy's sitting there with the suited king.
Yeah, he's got the second nut flush right behind him. Jamie's looking for a flop of 3, 5, 7. That would be his golden flop. Queen Jack 10 would be troublesome too, as Donnie would hit 2 pair. Billy makes a call, as does OBR. We have 4 players going to the flop. $840 sitting in the pot.
And just like that, we have our third all-in of the evening. Jamie opts to shove with ace, king, 6, 4. And it looks like Billy comes along with top 2 pair on the flop and top 2 pair. Good on the river.
Jamie guarantees action. He is a fun player to watch. He's never a dull moment, never a dull pot. And he will be rebuying some chips. So here we go. Buttons on Billy. OBR is the sleeper straddle.
So OBR actually folds in this particular hand. Jamie's the sleeper straddle. So it's now a live 10. Folds around. Looks like Jeremy might be making the call here, as well as Christian.
Zach does elect to let it go.
And it looks like Donnie is going to opt to pot it here with pocket aces, 7-3. So he does have one suited ace. We did see those threes come into play pretty excitedly earlier in the evening.
Donnie tried to give some change to Jamie. Jamie's got a bunch of hundreds. And Jamie said, "No, man, I don't need them." That tells you what I think Jamie's planning to do here. And there it is right there. He does make the call. As does Christian. Three-way action going to the flop.
Flop is going to come out ace, 8 of clubs, and 6 of hearts. So Christian is going to flop top 2 pair in this spot.
And Donnie leads out with $365. Jamie's going to make a snap call. It looks like Christian may be counting out some chips. He does have ace-8 top 2. We've got nobody with a flush draw. Donnie's setting golden with a set of aces. Christian's looking for the 7 for the straight. Jamie's looking for the 7 for a straight that he does not want. Christian's got raisin chips out. Looks like he may have about 1,500 in his hand. I wonder if those are going into the pot. This is going to be a disaster if all that does go in the pot, because he's going to get snap called by Donnie if he is betting pot. And that may look like what he's doing. He does bet the pot. Donnie snaps all in. We've got a hand in the making here, guys. A hand in the making. Jamie's going to let it go. So we have ace 10, 9, 8 versus a set of aces. Christian's looking for a 7 only. Or running hearts. So now Christian has 3 pair. That's not going to be good. River Card is his 7. Oh my goodness, it's his 7, and he hits the 10 high straight. Holy crap. And just like that, that shows you aces aren't good by themselves. Aces aren't good when they're not safe when they flop a set. Wow. And Christian doubles up. He's now got 4.3 thousand in his stack.
That was a very welcoming river card for him, seeing that 7 come out. Looking at Donnie's top set, I mean, he has several of those boat draws. No, the boats aren't going to be good because Donnie's going to have the top boat in that spot.
That's what I was saying.
So all he has is the 7.
Yeah, he's dead to the 7 or running hearts. And he missed his running hearts on the turn, meaning the 7 and the 7 only. And we know that there was only 2 7s left in the deck. Whew. And just like that, we have another casualty to Kojak's live.
So that makes our 4th all-in of the evening so far. We've had Christian go all-in multiple times, two times, win both of his all-ins. Joni and Donnie now, having gone all-in as well, trying their luck, did not make it.
They both had aces.
They both had aces. Yes, aces got cracked 2 out of 3 times. So far, Christian's the only one that's 100% on aces.
Right. Oh, my goodness.
And here we go, Jamie wanting to start that pot building exercise. So he straddles for 10 under the gun.
It's a lot harder to call a pot bet when it's $60, $70, $80 than it is to call it when it's 15, and that's the first pot bet. So and OBR elects to fold 5 on the button to the 10 because he knows what's coming, and there it is, potted up to $30. Flop comes out 10-9-4, 10-9-4. Jamie's got the open-ended straight draw. Jeremy's going to raise it up to $215. Jamie does make the call. 10 on the turn, 10 of spades. That does put a spade draw out there. Jamie's got 1 spade in his hand. That's going to make a pot bet hard to call, and that's exactly what Jeremy does. He leads out with $500, half pot. And Jamie does elect to fold. And Jeremy pulls in a nice little pot.
And with the button on Jamie, it looks like we are going to be making our way around the table. Donnie looks down at pocket aces again, this time the ace of hearts being suited. Donnie raises to 25. Billy quickly folds. Chase is out of there. Looks like Jamie opts to fold this time. Zach calls for $20. Jeremy calls for 20. And the flop comes out. King of spades, 9 and 3 of clubs. Looks like Donnie does bet his aces and goes ahead and takes it down. So that's the second time we've seen aces win a pot, and the second time we win, and we've already seen aces cracked twice already. Action over to Jeremy, who calls with ace 10 7 deuce, suited ace. Donnie calls with his pocket nines and an 8-4 backup. Billy comes along with ace queen 10 5. Jamie with pocket kings opts to go ahead and bet the pot for $25. Pocket kings 9 4. Gets a call out of Jeremy. Gets a call out of Donnie over to Billy. And then looks like Billy's coming along as well. So we've got 4 players headed into this flop. And flop comes out. King 10 4 with 2 clubs on the board. Once again, no one with a club flush draw. So Jamie's over here. He flops top set. Opts to go ahead and bet the $105. Most likely you're going to see a fold out of Donnie with pocket nines, because even if he calls with pocket nines in this spot, Queen Jack gets there for the king high straight. Billy folds as well, so Jamie is going to go ahead and take this pot down with top set. Button does move on over to Zach. Jeremy straddling right behind. So action is going to start with Donnie. Donnie's going to look down and see pocket queens and a 7-8. Donnie would most likely flatten this spot. Early position, you got several action players behind you. Does do that. He calls the 10. Billy comes along as well with king 6 pocket deuces. We saw those get laid down earlier by Chase. Chase looks down at 6 pocket 4s and a 3. And Chase with his hand opts to raise it to $55. Jamie likes it. Actually likes it a lot. Decides to 3-bet up to $100. Christian folds his ace king. Back over to Jeremy, who calls with pocket 9s and a 10-5. And Donnie calls as well with pocket queens. Flop comes out. King of clubs, 3 of clubs, and deuce of diamonds. We did see Billy fold his pocket deuces. Action is going to check around to Jamie, who is going to bet $415. Chase looking at a gut shot at the moment. If a 4 comes, it gives him a set of 4s. Set of 4s would be good against Jamie's 2 pair that he flopped. Opts not to go with it. Jamie is going to go ahead and take it down with 2 pair. Top and bottom, king deuce. Action is going to start with Donnie. Donnie looks down at 9-8-7-3. Decides he wants to come along. See what happens. And Billy with the pocket jacks in his hand. Wasn't at his seat, so those go into the muck. Chase comes along with king 9, 7, 6. Jamie, of course, is going to pot it. A suited king queen with the 10 of diamonds and the 8 of clubs. Christian looking down with the ace king 3 deuce. Gets back over to Donnie, who decides to 3-bet up to 130 with the 9 of hearts, the 8, 7, 3 of diamonds. Pots it up to 130 to keep that action moving along. Chase quick to call the $130 bet, and Jamie just as fast, 4 bets up to $570. We talked about this earlier, but Jamie is not afraid to play some of these bigger pots. So he's going to be looking at some of those other players at the table, seeing what they're playing, and he is going to pot it. He likes playing those big pots, does not shy away from them. And with his suited king, decides he likes it enough to make it $570 pre-flop. Action over to Donnie. It looks like he's going to have to make a call at 440 or fold. I'm willing to bet that he is going to fold in this spot. Takes one more look just to see if he sees anything he likes. Opts to go ahead and fold it, as does Chase. So the 570 pre-flop is going to take it down. Jamie picks up $310. Likes what he sees. Continues to scoop those pots in. Billy with 6.6 thousand. Jamie with 4.8. Christian with 4.3. Chase with 3.2. Jeremy with 2.3. Zach and Donnie sitting close to that $1,000 mark. Cards being dealt out. Looks like we have Mr. Eric Blank who's going to be joining the table. Eric, always a fun player to be around. Very friendly. Looks like action is going to start off with Chase, who looks down at ace, queen, jack, 8. Decides to go ahead and pot it here for $15. And Jamie looks like he's going to make it 50. 3 bets to the 50 with the suited connectors and a king 3. Donnie comes along with his ace, king, and jack. Flop is going to come out. 5 of spades, 6 of diamonds, 6 of hearts. No one holding a 6 at this point. And a 7 on the turn. So Jamie turns the 9 high straight. Leads out, takes it down, picks up another pot. So Jamie starting to climb his way out. A couple other players in there as well. Button is going to move over to Billy. Chase under the gun. Sleeper straddle for 10 in front of Jamie. And Chase looks down at pocket aces. Pocket aces with a suited ace of spades. Ace, ace, king, jack. He's going to go ahead and pot it under the gun. Jamie's able to take his sleeper straddle back. Gives him the option of doing what he would like to do in this spot. And instead of potting, looks like he's going to opt to 3-bet to 30. Zach calls, Jeremy calls, Donnie's in there. Donnie has picked up ace-king more tonight than I have seen for quite a while.
Oh, we got aces. Oh, Lord.
So this is about the 4th time we've seen aces, and 5th time. So pocket aces have held up 2 out of the 4 times that we've seen them so far.
I do not like the double paired hands, especially spread out apart that far, no straight draws.
And Chase did exactly what I would have expected him to in that spot. 4 bets it up to 210, put a little bit more pressure on. You've already heard Charlie talking about it. We get action on this table. So it looks like everyone so far up to Billy has opted to call, and Billy makes that call as well. Pocket 9s and pocket 4s.
$1.1 thousand in the pot. And Billy is in the lead pre-flop. And he's still in the lead right now. Well, he's got the best drawing hand. I don't know how.
He's the only one. He's the only one that has the club draw.
All right, that explains that.
Clubs, but I wonder, even if he hits the clubs, I wonder if he would think it was good in this spot. I mean, he's going up against 4 other players in this spot.
Donnie may be all in, and that's what it looks like. For $540, he's all in with a 2 pair, 8s and 7s. He is in the lead as we speak right now. This is the problem with aces. Aces are such pretty hands. However, whenever a flop comes out, there's a good chance when your opponent's holding 4 cards that they can have 2 of those cards out there, if not 3 of them.
And we do know there is only 1 ace left in the deck. Moving over to Jeremy. Jeremy with the 5-6 has the open-ended straight draw.
It looks like Chase is going to make the $540 call. If you're going to make the call at this point, I really think you should repot it.
He's going to want to get the hands like Jeremy's out of there. Jeremy doesn't have the flush redraw. I don't think Jeremy's going to be making this call due to that fact, but he does have his open-ended straight draw.
The only problem with just a call is it does. I mean, with OBR's call is it does open up the opportunity for Jeremy to get into the hand for cheaper. Had he repotted it right there, and Donnie's already all in, he doesn't have to commit any more money, and this is exactly the result of that. His choice, Chase's choice to just call, forces him to put another $1,500 in the pot. Had OBR potted it, Jeremy would have insta-fold, insta-mucked.
And Jeremy's out of there. Now Jeremy's the one that gets the heads up. He's got the 8 outs.
And they forced Chase to put $540 in the pot and fold. So here we go, Jack 9, and we ran it one time.
And the 5-6 is going to make the 9 high straight for Jeremy. So in that spot, just like what Charlie was talking about, if OBR pots it right there, Jeremy's not coming along. You know, he doesn't have the flush redraw. Doesn't have some of those same redraws that we could see. But Jeremy makes the move, pushes OBR out, and he's the one that takes it down with the 9 high straight.
Either way, OBR would have lost that to the 8-7 if he was heads up with Donnie, but it would have cost him the same amount because the pot would have been the 540 going towards with Donnie, but that would have forced Jeremy out of the hand. And that was a minor mistake by OBR, but Jeremy took full advantage of it. And I bet you OBR, after seeing the cards, is glad that he folded that. Billy's the big winner so far with 6,400. Jamie right behind him, 47. Christian, 43. And Jeremy has crossed the $4,000 threshold with that hand. Donnie's looking at her dealer like, dang dealers. That's a saying around here, and that's what she's probably laughing about.
That is something that we hear in cooling spots like that. Man and good Lord, these dealers.
Yep. Donnie's got some chips out in front to do a rebuy. Actions first on Jamie. Jamie does straddle for 10. He's trying to build that pot up. Difference between 5 on the button, first pot's 15. When you got that 10 out there, if somebody pots it, they can put in 35.
We just talked about the double pair in our hand. Jeremy looks down at that with pocket queens and pocket sevens.
Those are such hard hands to play because they're so far separated that you don't have the straight draw. He does have a club flush draw with it, but he's realistically looking for queens or sevens.
And he opts to pot it in this spot, so he makes it 45. He's not going to want to see clubs, though, because Zach is sitting right in front of him with the ace-high clubs.
I thought those black chips were about to go in. Donnie does make the call. No. Donnie 3-bets it. Bets the pot. $155. That's a steaming bet.
And
Bill,
right behind him is Billy with pocket kings, jack 8, and he has the suited king of clubs. So this could actually get really disgusting if we see these clubs come out on the flop because we have the ace high, king high, and queen high suited clubs in hands.
The ace is gone, though. The ace is gone, so now the king is the nut club draw.
So it looks like we are going to go 5 ways to this flop.
Almost $800 in the pot. Flop comes out 7 of spades, 3 of spades, deuce of diamonds. Jeremy, with his double paired hand, hits top set on the flop, putting Billy's kings at a severe disadvantage.
Donnie, however, is looking at king deuce of spades, so he does have the second nut flush draw in this spot. And Jamie with jack of spades, 6 of hearts, 3 of clubs, and deuce of hearts. So he flops bottom 2 pair, leads out for 785. He decides he's going to just go ahead and put the pressure on.
Jeremy's going to raise it on up. Action is now raised. Mr. Clark looks like he raised to 1,600. So Jeremy does look like he pots this hand because he's having to add more money to it.
And that's the thing about dealing these Pot Limit Omaha games with these actionable players. You see Yvonne doing the math, putting it out there, letting the players know exactly what their bet is worth.
So he does raise it up to $3,000. Action's going to be to Donnie for an all-in. And he's got the nut redraw. I don't see how he's going to get away from this.
And we have seen Donnie willing to play some of these bigger pots. This would put him all in, but this would be his third all-in tonight so far. He is willing to play back against some of these players at the table.
And he lets it go.
Does not opt to do that this hand.
That opens the door for Jamie to make the call now. The jack high flush is the good flush draw going into this. He's setting it less than 1%. That's because the deuce of spades is one of the cards that are left in the deck.
No, so Jamie actually doesn't have the flush draw. He's got a rainbowed hand.
Oh, no, he doesn't.
He has bottom 2 pair, so he's looking for either...
He's looking for a 3 or deuce.
No, he has to go runner quads.
Yep, runner 3-3 or runner deuce. Thank you very much.
So he's going to have to go, if he calls this, I highly doubt he does, but if he calls this, he's going to have to go running quads in order to beat him because otherwise Jeremy is going to have the overboat. And Jamie goes all in for 4.5 thousand. Jeremy snap calls is what it looks like for the 4.1 thousand. And here, just like that, we have an $8.9 thousand pot.
And it's elected to run one time, and Jeremy's set of sevens is going to sweep it in. Wow.
See, this is the kind of play that I was excited about earlier, because I knew with these players and how much they liked to play and how much they like to push these pots, we were going to see some rather large pots tonight. Unfortunately for Jamie in that spot with his bottom two pair, he just chose the wrong time to do that.
And this is going to be one of those games that after the live stream does end, it's just going to continue to go on and through the night.
This game is going to run for a very long time as these players start to build up their stacks and play back against each other.
Just like that, Jeremy is your new chip leader at $9,000. Wow, what a hand. We knew this was going to happen. The lineup is lively. They're ready to move chips. They're not afraid to move chips. And just like that, we have a dealer change. Mr. Richard coming in now. Richard's in the house. We'll see if the odds change in any player's favor.
I think with that one hand, we now have a new chip leader.
8,900.
Jeremy is going to take on chip leading stack at this point in the evening. Chip leading stack. Chip leading stack. This is the first time I've been on the live stream, other than just like the periodic I've stopped in and said hello. I was telling Charlie and I told my wife earlier, I was super quiet starting off. For people who know me, very rare to see me not talk. So please forgive me for those little fumbles there.
And for the first time in a while, we see hands that can actually be folded to even the $5 bet. Nah,
well, I think
and
it's because they see that and they know who's on the button. So they know that if they're in for 5, they're in for 50. So Eric looks down. He opts to call. Has two pair in his hand, aces and tens.
Rainbow, no suited, just Broadway draws along with two pair. And Eric is one of those knowledgeable players that knows do not overplay aces.
Ready for the $25 bet?
There it is. Pots it up. $30 is now the action. And even right there, Eric chooses not to repot it.
Well, at this point, it would be overinflating the pot. I mean, it's a pair of aces pre-flop, but we've already seen aces get cracked so many times tonight. Eric opts to just keep that pot to a manageable level until he can see those first 3 cards and decide what he wants to do from there.
Flop comes out, King, Queen, 8. King, Queen, 8. Eric is now looking for really a jack. And there it is. I mean, we call it, it comes, right? So now the problem is Chase has his, nope. Chase has the second nut flush draw, or he's got the nut flush draw with spades. Eric's holding the naked ace. Naked ace means he's got an ace of spades in his hand, but nothing else. Bet out by Eric of 150. Chase makes the call. Eric tried to bet the naked ace. He does have Broadway, and Broadway is going to hold the win. Let's see if he can pull anything else out. I don't think he can. Pair of kings is not going to be an... Oh, Eric is the one that leads out in bets. 300. And he pulls in his Broadway pot. Welcome to the table, Mr. Blank. From all of us here at Kojak's, we would definitely like to give a shout out to all the moms out there. Without you ladies, we couldn't be the men that we are. And we truly do love you guys. Happy Mother's Day.
And as a reminder for the players who are watching, that is important as well. Understand that tomorrow is Mother's Day, and you want to make sure that they feel loved and respected in that spot.
Wake them up with some breakfast in bed. Josh.
Well, I think that sets the bar a little high there. Just tell them Happy Mother's Day. Go from there. See how that works.
You could always swing by Whataburger and grab a taquito. Here you go, babe.
Oh, you know what? That actually does work. I do make a really good homemade breakfast burrito. I'll just switch the wrapper out, take it to her. We are good to go. So Donnie looks at pocket kings, opts to raise it. He's got ace, king, king, 8. He's already had pocket aces multiple times. He's had ace, king, and now he has pocket kings.
Look at what Jamie just did.
Gets over to Jamie, and look at that.
Jamie says pot. Bets it up to 135.
Zach is going to come along with his mystery hand. We'll probably see that here in just a second. Action back over to Donnie. And Donnie comes along as well. Billy and Chase, quick to get out of there. Not wanting to get involved in this particular hand.
Did Donnie just raise it?
And that might be why Billy and Chase were so quick to get out of that.
Right.
Looks like Donnie does opt to raise.
And look at this.
Amount to be determined. 4 bets to 595. Jamie very quick to go all in.
He's all in for less. And that's going to force Zach. Well, it doesn't really force Zach out of there if Zach likes his hand enough. It's $460 to win 1,200 right now.
And he's definitely contemplating this.
I mean, he's not going to have to put any more money in the pot. Both players in front of him, all in, 595 is the big stack. And that's definitely what's going through his head right now. And he does make the call. So we're going to have 2 separate pots. We're going to be playing for a side pot.
Looks like you're trying to get his pocket 7s, 6-5, double suited.
That's the kind of cards that you want to be in there. One of his 7s are dead. It's in Jamie's hand. But that's the kind of cards that you want to have at this point. So Zach does have the field covered. He had pocket 7s what?
Pocket 7, 6-5 double suited. So I believe it was spades and diamonds. So he has the only flush draws of those 2 suits.
Mm-hmm. We've got hearts and that's it. Flop. Whoa, there's the whole board. Now flop comes out. Ace, king. Donnie hits a set. Jamie's looking for a jack. Zach may be drawn dead.
Pocket 7, 6-5. Unless it comes running diamonds, because he does have the diamonds as well.
Okay.
There must have been some side action behind as well, because Zach no longer has his hand. So
he folded. He folded.
Oh, okay.
He folded. He talked himself out of it. He may be kicking himself, but he does not. Donnie's set of kings does hold up. It looked like he was getting his stuff ready to go.
Well, third all in hadn't worked out for him in the past, and he flopped the top sets in his previous hands that he was all in for. So top set does hold up, or second set does hold up for him this time for a nice little double up. Jeremy, the chip leader at 8.9, Billy with 6.2, Christian 4.2, Chase 2.1, Donnie is 1.9. For as fast as I talk, I can't read as fast. So was not able to pick up those last two players.
Nope. Sometimes it does go a little quick.
So it looks like our two biggest winners of the night so far are going to be Jeremy. You saw a couple of his monster double ups that he had. And then Christian's doing really well as well, picking up a couple of really big hands tonight. Button moves on over to Zach. Does put Jamie in the cutoff. That's a dangerous spot as well.
Jamie's dangerous anywhere he sits.
Hijack. Christian's in the cutoff. And Jeremy with the straddle for 10. Eric folds his hand.
Jamie doesn't even have his chips yet, and he's already potting it. So he raises it up with the nut flush draw in spades. He's looking for a straight flush with his hearts, the 6-8. And he flops two pair. Flop comes out 6 of diamonds, 8 of clubs, jack of clubs.
Jeremy does flop the open-ended straight draw with his 7-9. Billy holding two of his outs at that 5 and the 10.
Jamie's going to lead out with 100. Oh, Donnie made a call. Donnie didn't call that, did he?
Yeah, Donnie calls with a set of queen in his hand. And just like that, Jeremy's going to turn the 9 high straight.
Jamie's drawn to a 6 or an 8. He's going to bet 300 as he takes a bite of his salad.
Does get a little, well, I was going to say scary, but we've already shown, like, these players have already shown they're not afraid to put their chips in the pot.
Yeah,
but I was going to say the only thing that scares Jeremy in this spot is that there's two flush draws on the board.
Yep.
No one's holding the flush draw.
Any of it.
So no one's holding any of the flush draw, either the clubs or the diamonds. But Jeremy is looking at that pot, and there is 2 flush draws on the board.
Donnie does accidentally show his hand when he's folding.
And Jeremy raises to $1.4 thousand in this spot.
That's going to be good enough to win. Bet with the best hand, you win with the best hand. Jeremy adds to his chip lead. He was at 89 starting this hand. Now he's at 9,600. Zach's got 635. Jamie's got 17. Donnie 18. Eric 18. Chase 21. All the way up to Mr. Billy, sitting right around 42. Billy's been quiet the last few hands. I think he doesn't want to get caught up in a hand that he's going to be stuck in. Once again, all you poker players, do not forget tomorrow is Mother's Day. If your mama is still around, or your wife, or your sister who's a mother, make sure you call them up and give them a little bit of love and wish them happy Mother's Day. With no straddles on this hand, which is quite odd. Eric's going to lead out with under the gun. He's going to make the call. Love his hand. Chase going to pot it up. Ace, Queen, 10, 9. Chris is going to make the call. Ace, Jack, 7, 4. Jeremy's going to make the call. King, 9, 8, 4. And Eric's going to make the call. So we're setting four-way action. $80 in the pot. This is where things usually get interesting on these type of hands. Flop comes out ace of clubs, 10 of hearts, 5 of diamonds. Turn card comes a 2 of diamonds, and river card comes a queen of hearts. Ace queen is going to hold up. See if he can get a little bit of value out here. $240 in the pot. Chase makes a bet, just small, looks like $150. And Eric does make the proper fold with just a naked ace. Chase has been slow and steady. He hadn't been trying to get himself in too much trouble, with the exception of that $540 error earlier. But either way, Chase's aces were destined to lose that hand.
Based on what we've seen tonight, aces have not done well for the players that have been holding them.
Boy, just imagine if Reagan and Braxton and all of them were at this table with him. Whole new dynamic.
If we had all of them at the same table,
because there's 2 open seats.
It would be a very actionable table, and I would say thank you for letting me come and comment.
Even Mike Tyler. That would be a scary table. Well, Here we go. Zach wakes up with aces. Nut flush draw for the hearts.
60% of a wheel draw already.
And he elects to only call with him.
Well, if he's been watching the way aces have played out tonight, I don't blame him.
Flop comes out, king of spades, seven of spades, queen of spades. Eric flops Yahoo. Chase might be in trouble here. He flops a set of sevens, and he's going to check it because the spades do scare him. Eric's going to lead out with $20.
Chase is going to call with his bottom set. And
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We have a quads alert. Quads alert.
at this point, he's just wondering how much value can I get out of this hand. Unfortunately, Eric does not have much, so he's not going to get any more value out of Eric.
Eric flops the nut flush, and that's all he's got. Chase bets $60, which Eric recognizes as a milk me bet, and OBR says, man, pay off my quads one time. He does not get the call that he wanted. Jeremy's still the big winner so far. 9,600 sitting in his stack. Billy's right behind him at 62. Christian is up also a good amount. He's at 42.
4,200. I believe he was in the game for 1,000 as well. So he's picked up a decent amount of chips throughout those hands that he has played.
Not to mention the case 7 he hit.
It is very nice when you do hit those one-outers. Looks like Donnie will make it back to a seat in time to take on the button. So Billy says, all right, I'll go ahead and straddle.
I'm already putting 5 in. What's 10?
Straddles for 10. We do not see a up. There it is. There's the sleeper 20 from Jamie. So once again, action is going to be on Chase to decide whether or not he's going to kill that straddle or not.
We've seen him tonight let it live. We've also seen him straddle tonight with him.
Decides to let that 20 sleeper become a live straddle. So now it is a straddle for 20. Action is going to progress around the table.
And I can see Jamie raising with this.
Oh, 100%. I mean, once again, he's got 60% of a wheel draw.
Mm-hmm. Zach's going to 3-bet it up. 95 is the action now.
Eric comes along with his ace, king, queen, 4.
I can see Zach having aces again.
And Jamie calls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He does have suited connectors with that 3-4.
Flop comes out. Queen of clubs, 7 of diamonds, 3 of hearts. A rainbow flop, but Donnie picks up top 2 pair. And Donnie's going to bet it like he's got it. That's what you should do at points like this where it's a dry flop, not much out there. You should take advantage. He bets $485. Action's over on Eric, and Eric's going to let it go. That's exactly how you should play that hand. When the flop comes out dry, take advantage of it, especially when you've got a huge piece of it. We've got 2 Richards right there. If we could only clone our dealers like this. So, Josh, what'd you get your wife for Mother's Day?
Well, so took her out to the car dealership yesterday. Let her pick out a brand new vehicle.
What'd she get?
She picked up the 2021 Kia Telluride. Exciting time for our little family. We've got, between the two of us, we have 4 kids, one on the way in August. And so currently, anytime we go anywhere, we have to take 2 vehicles. So with this upgrade that we picked up yesterday, we'll be able to travel together as a family now anytime we have all of the kids together. So we are pretty excited about that.
Chase sitting under the gun with what else? Aces,
Pocket
double suited.
Aces.
I do like his aces.
And once again, he just decides he's going to flat. He already knows there's going to be a raise somewhere along the table.
There it is.
Behind him. Jamie opts to raise to 15. The pot bet wasn't working out for him, so he left $5 off, just made it to 15.
All aces are dead. All aces are dead.
And so far, that's what we've seen with all the other players that have had pocket aces. Anytime someone's had pocket aces, it seems like all the other aces are out there as well.
The only exception was when Donnie hit the set, and that was no good.
And Donnie opts to 3-bet to 70. So he 3-bets to 70 with ace, king of spades, and an 8-3. Once again, we've seen those emergency threes come out into play.
Billy makes the call with queen, deuce of spades, 6-8 of diamonds. We've seen a lot of 6-8s.
And Chase does exactly what Joni tried doing earlier with pocket aces. He raises to 310.
What he's trying to do is he's trying to isolate. He's trying to get some of those hands out of there, like Billy's hand. I can see Jeremy calling. I can see Donnie calling. And Jeremy did not call. Donnie's definitely calling.
We don't know what Jamie has, but that call doesn't surprise me.
Nope, he's here to play. He's not here to waste time.
He's got pocket sixes. And there's 1-6 left. So we've already seen the case 7 hit. Looking for the case 6 for Jamie in this spot.
Flop comes out 8 of clubs, 4 of clubs, jack of diamonds.
And it does look like Chase is going to push this. It looks like he leads out for a pot bet of 13. Hard to see from this angle, but it does look like he puts out the $1,300 bet.
So Jamie did put Chase did put the pot out, or Billy put it.
It looks like Chase does that under the gun. So Chase leads leads out with his pocket aces, and Billy is going to shove all in for $5,800. Does look like Chase calls.
King of clubs on the turn, 5 of clubs on the river, 5 of spades on the river. They're running it twice. Jack of clubs. And 8.
So it does look like Chase is going to scoop this.
If that's an 8 on the river on the bottom, it's going to be chop chop because that's 2 8s on the board. 8 on the third. Yeah, so it's going to be chop chop because Billy has an 8 in his hand. So it is going to be chop chop. Chase is going to scoop the top one with the queen and the 5. Billy's going to win the bottom one with 3 8s.
And it looks like Kelly is going to be joining us back on the table.
Welcome back, Kelly Jean, the dealing machine. So here in about 10 minutes, Mr. Elon Musk is going to be on Saturday Night Live talking about Dogecoin. A lot of hype around that.
I'm okay with him talking about it. I prefer not to talk about it.
Most people who sold off most of theirs prefer that.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You make money, right? So I made money, happy with it. Just not as happy as the fact that I gave away $160,000 worth of it. But I made $500, so I'm okay with that.
Gotta look at it from that way.
Would it surprise you if I told you that Jamie straddled for 10?
Does the sun come up every day and the moon come out every night? For the most part, yes.
I was going to say theoretically. I mean, we could go into that one.
The moon comes out every night. It may be dark, but the moon does come out every
I was
night.
going to say, if you're blind, you just have to trust people.
Oh, touche.
So, Jamie straddles for 10. Christian comes along. Looks like Jeremy and Eric like their hands enough to call the 10. They already know what's about to happen.
There's another double paired hand. Christian's got 77 deuce-de-deuce.
Billy's trying to prevent it, so he goes ahead and makes it 50.
Billy knows that if there's an action in front like that usually Jamie won't repot it unless he's got a monster.
Basil would be very happy right now to know that 3 players have his favorite hand.
Absolutely. And a jack somehow comes out on the flop. The case jack is out on the flop.
So Jack 8-3. Eric flops 2 pair here with Jack 8.
Wouldn't it be crazy if a 10 came on the turn?
We already know Basil would be losing his mind right now if that were to happen.
Poker's so sick, man.
And that would be exactly what he would say. His lovely catchphrase, poker is sick. Christian with pocket 7s. We've seen pocket 7s do really well tonight. Aces, not so much. So far, pocket 7s have won 100% of their pots.
Yeah. Set.
Billy with the mystery hand. There is 2 hearts on the board. Does not look... Well, Christian is holding the 7 deuce of hearts, so he is holding the 7 high flush. 7 deuce of hearts and diamonds.
Uh-huh.
Pocket 7s, pocket deuces.
All red cards. So, person with a Jack 10 bet, person with a Jack 10 called, and person with a Jack 10 made the call. So we've got Jack 10s. Now this is fun because every single person in the pot has a queen high straight draw to the 9.
Eric's still good here with his Jack 8 2 pair. The only flush draw folded.
I see going check. 3 on the river. That might give some artificial hope. If Eric throws out 200 or 300 here, it's going to go full fold. He opts to throw out 375. I can't see either one of them calling because they've got
Jackson 3s with a 10.
Mm-hmm. And the queen's a scare card out there. The queen should be a scare card to Eric because now queens and 3s.
But with both OBR and Jamie checking the turn, I see Eric taking that move, feeling like he's got the best hand.
Yeah, he's got to be comfortable with it.
And it does look like Chase opted to call. So Chase calls. Eric's going to be able to pick up that pot. Must have raised.
Oh, yep, OBR raised. That was a great move by OBR right there.
Well, in position, he's able to represent quite a few different hands there. Eric can't call. So that must have been a raise and a snap fold because we both missed that. We thought Eric was good there with his Jack 8. So it must have been a raise with a snap fold.
Because Eric did bet 375. That means OBR probably went all in. Because it's pretty decent pot. He at least bet 1,000.
Christian under the gun with ace, king, 9 deuce. His ace and king are both suited.
And they're gone. He folds them.
He knows who's on the button. Doesn't want to get involved in a big hand with that. Out of position. Billy is going to raise with suited connectors and pocket eights. Chase looks down at 4 to a flush in his hand. Ace, queen, 5, 4. Decides he wants to come along. And the flop is going to come out 4 of clubs. Sorry, 4 of spades, 5 of hearts, and 6 of diamonds. And we are 6 ways in this pot. 6, 7, 8. Jeremy does flop the 8 high straight.
That's such a wet board too, because 3 sevens are out there, 3 deuces could be out there. You've got an 8 and a 7 in your hand. You think, I've got the blockers. One person's holding pocket 8s, the other person's holding pocket 7s. And you just somehow manage to find 8-7.
So here is where, if a 7 does come, and we've seen case
Zach's
cards
all
coming
in.
out.
Zach's all in.
So he flops the 7 high straight. He is not going to be happy whenever he sees Jeremy make this call with the 8 high straight, because he's got 2 of those blockers to that
he's got
hand.
2 of them. And whoever just folded that hand was looking for the 7.
Billy folded the 8-9, so he folds. And good fold there. Jeremy's still holding the nuts with the 7-8. And just like that, the rich get richer. Jeremy is now up to 10.4.
And just like that, we're back in action. Button is on Mr. Christian. Jeremy's under the gun. He's going to raise it up to $10. Eric comes along. Billy's going to 3-bet it up to $45 now. Chase makes the call. And here we go. Action at Kojak's tonight. Jamie has 4-betted up to $100. Christian's going to make the fold. Eric's going to make the call with ace, queen, queen, 5. I can't see Billy going anywhere else. And he does make the call. And OBR makes the call. 4-way action, $405 in the pot. $415. Flop comes out, king of diamonds, 7 of clubs, 4 of spades. Jamie's got the wrap around the straight draw. Billy's got a pair of 4s. Chase has nothing. And Jamie's going to lead out and bet $415. And he had the world wrap around it. He's in it to play tonight. He's not afraid to put the chips in the middle of the pot. And that's exactly what he does there again.
It's also been a couple times I've had to.
And we're out on action tonight. Donnie's going to raise it up to $20. Billy calls the 20. Chase is going to 3-bet it. Jamie's going to 4-bet it. So we've got $200 bet already in the pot. Jeremy makes the call. Jeremy, this is Jeremy's favorite type of game. When it gets down to 6, 7-handed, he likes to play cards. All the cards become so much more powerful. Donnie with pocket queens makes the call. Chase with all kinds of fun stuff makes the call. Flop comes out. Ace of diamonds, 6 of diamonds, 6 of clubs. Nobody's holding the 6. Nobody's holding diamonds. Nobody. Well, one person's holding the ace. Let me rephrase that. Jamie, the aggressor in the hand who bet 200 pre-flop, is holding ace and he checks it. Turn card's a queen. That means Donnie's the winner.
Donnie gets there with pocket queens. So he's got queens full of 6s. He's going to take it.
No. Look at Jamie. Look at Jamie. Jamie just bet the pot. $825.
Guarantee you Donnie's calling right now.
Oh, there's no chance Donnie does not call. So, action's on Mr. Jeremy with the Broadway draw.
So he's looking for a 10.
That's a lot of thinking for just a 10.
Well, I think the thing Jeremy doesn't want is he doesn't want to just quickly fold there and show that he's going to fold to a big bet. So he doesn't want the players in front of him to just be able to push him around. So I'm willing to say that in this spot, Jeremy's going to make that fold. He's going to be able to find it. He's going to find the fold. He just doesn't want them to think that...
I've seen him make these calls before on the live stream. He likes to gamble when he knows pretty much the area that they're in. Of course, he does do the fold here, but he likes to make the gamble. All of Donnie's chips are in the middle of the pot, and he has already won it before the river card even comes. River card comes out, a 7 of hearts. That's 4 times we've seen the 7 of hearts on the river. One time was Christian's money card. And Jamie's going to have to muck his cards belly down. Donnie's got boats. Queens full of 6s. Queens being rode around by a pair of 6s.
And that is a welcoming 7 of hearts for Donnie. So he's able to start to build his stack up from being drawn out on early in the night.
He's back up to $3.5 thousand.
And I will say that is a very fun table to be at right now. I went out there just a second ago. They all started chirping at me. They wanted to know exactly why I was there. I was just out there to say hi. Donnie was questioning if I've seen them draw out on his top sets earlier in the evening. I reassured him that yes, sir, I had seen that. Not much I can do there except say sometimes that happens.
That'll happen.
Especially at Kojak's when you go 7 ways to the flop for $200.
Yeah. Donnie looks down under the gun. He's going to make the call with ace, 8, 60 deuce, 2 flush draws, couple straight draws out there. The will draw, the 6 high, the 8 high. Billy's going to raise it up. He's going to bet the pot with ace, 7, 6, 4. Almost the exact same hand. He's got nut spades. Chase right behind him has made the call, 9, 8, 5, 4. Action's over to Jamie. Jamie's going to make the fold. Christian's going to fold it out. Jeremy's going to call with queen, jack, 7, 6. Eric's picks up aces. And he just calls the 15. Flop comes out. Queen of diamonds, 8 of diamonds, jack of clubs. That's the case 8. All the 8s are out there. Jeremy's got 2 pair, queens and jacks, top 2. Nobody has diamonds. Not a person on the board has a diamond. I'm trying to find some straight draws, but I cannot see it. A 10 for Chase would make the queen high straight. Checks around to him. Welcome to the table, Nuck Nuck. That's Mr. Tony Wynn. A 10 on the turn. That gives Chase an 80% chance to win this hand. We've got a couple people with 2 pair. We've got Eric with pocket aces, the naked ace. All aces are out, so he cannot hit a set. Chase is the only one with a straight. He's going to lead out with $100. Jeremy's going to make the call with top 2 pair. Jeremy will be looking for a 9, a queen, or a jack. Billy's going to raise it up, ace 7, 6, 4. He's representing ace king. And Chase is going to let it go. Chase is going to fold the best hand. Chase was 80% to win that hand. Billy raises it up to $500. And Chase lets go of the queen high straight. Now action is in between Jeremy and Billy. Jeremy already has the hand won. He just has to make this $400 call. He does not know that he has the hand won. Billy's doing what he has proved time and time again on final tables and cash games, that he knows when opponents are weak and when they're strong. He knows Jeremy has a weaker hand, and he's trying to exploit that. I don't think Jeremy's going to fold here. $400 more to him, $800 sitting inside the pot. That was a perfectly value-sized bet for Billy to get him to fold. And Billy did what he knows how to do. He got Mr. Jeremy to let go of the best hand Billy pulls in a pot when he had ace high. Pre-flop raise percentage, Jamie, of course, is setting at the top with 63%. Mr. Jeremy's down there at the bottom at 5, but Jeremy doesn't have to be anywhere because the 63% is setting 2 to the right of him. So all he has to do is call.
And it looks like we will have another friendly face joining the table. It does look like Tony is getting chips and about to sit down. Also known as Nut Nut for those that are in the high-low scene.
Nut Nut. Yeah, Nuck Nuck is now sitting in seat number 4. Tony's been one of the original members that's been coming out to Kojak since the day that we opened. And he does like to put his hands in the cookie jar. He's not afraid of action.
Oh, he is not. I've played against him, and whenever I put my money in there, and I'm generally good when I put it in there, but then he looks at me and goes, okay, I call. And that's generally a bad sign for me, at least. Billy does straddle for 10, action over to Jamie.
It looks like Jamie's already potted.
Oh, this time he goes for the $20 raise.
And Christian jumps in with King, Queen, Jack 10. He's 4/5 of the way to Broadway. Jeremy's right behind him, makes the call with Ace, King, 60 deuce. Eric makes the fold with Ace, 10, 6, 7.
I'm still looking for one of those flush draws out there that are going to create that just big action play. So we've seen several suited aces and suited kings out there.
5-way action. 5-way action.
Can we call for hearts one time? Just to be able to see what happens on this flop?
Oh my gosh. So Jamie did have a little discrepancy about what he was wanting to bet. He was wanting to bet the full 100, but he could not do it.
So it did look like he put the 20 out there. It got called around. We still had Billy in the straddle for 10. I wonder if Billy made it the $100 because now we're making our way back around the table for that new bet.
See, look at Jamie raise to 100. So action's now on Billy, and Billy calls the 100. So there we are, 5-way action, $500 in the pot, 100 from each person. King, 7, 3, King of diamonds, 7 of clubs, 3 of hearts.
So Donnie once again flops his 2 pair, flops the king 3.
I love how Donnie flops 2 pair and Christian's still setting 2% higher to win the hand. And just like that, it's over. Donnie takes advantage of it. He looks like he probably bet the pot.
And Donnie's on his way to a comeback, sitting at about 3.9. Jeremy has 10, Billy at 6.3.
So Donnie is now in the plus. Donnie is in the plus $800. Jeremy's our big winner so far tonight, setting up $7,000. Christian, setting to Jamie's left, is setting up $3,000. Chase is up $2,000. And Eric is plus $1,000. Chase is going to miss Queen. Never mind.
Oh, he makes it back.
It's like he was watching that. He may have been running.
That's what it looked like.
He's going to look down at his hand. He's going to throw a $5 chip in there.
Some of our players like to get their exercise here. We have several of them that'll go and get a drink or something, and then they run back to the table because they don't want to miss their hands. And this is why. They come back and they see the pocket pair sitting in their hands.
Welcome to the table, Nuck Nuck. Jack 10, make Basil happy. Jack 10-10. Jeremy finally sees a hand that he can fold.
And Billy 3-bets to 100, holding 7-6-5-4. Puts the pressure on in position. Moves it back along to Chase, who makes the call. Tony's along for the ride as well. Action back over to Donnie.
Billy pulls it back in, so he's gonna. Is he raised? Did he bet the
Well,
pot?
it looks like Donnie might have raised. Yeah,
Donnie 4-betted.
Donnie
Holy
4-bets to
cow.
425.
And Billy snaps it.
So does Tony.
Donnie has a better hand than Billy. He's got 9 high. Billy's only got 7 high.
Oh, this could be, and we've already seen 7s quite hot tonight. So we'll see how this one plays out. And just like that, we see Jack 7-3 on the flop.
Nuck Nuck is all in. $10-8. Nuck Nuck's 10-8 holds. So, welcome to the table, Nuck Nuck. 1 hand played, 1 double up. He's went into the hand with $1,000. He walks out of the hand with $2,500. Man, this is an easy game, isn't it, Josh?
Easy game.
Until you're sitting at the table.
Absolutely. We've already seen so many dominant hands just get outrun, and Tony sits down.
Must be something good happening in the fight because look at all the players.
Oh yeah, Canelo Alvarez just jumped on the screen. Was half tempted to leave Charlie so I could go watch that for a second. Decided I would come back in.
Thank you, thank you. Button's now over on Jamie. That's a dangerous spot to be. He gets last action. Billy still.
Looks like Yvonne comes back to the table, so we have Yvonne back at the table. Quick little dealer change.
Button is sitting on Jamie, the toughest spot on the table. Donnie. Oh, he misses out on his aces. There he comes, just a second too late.
And I was going to say, depending on what happens in this particular hand, we might have seen aces cracked again.
Right.
Watch, ace on the flop.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so sick. Jamie flops 2 pair, top 2. Chase is looking for a queen. He's going to bet $10. Jamie's going to pot it.
Chase also has the backdoor heart draw, if he can get there.
Now Jamie's behind. Top 2 versus Jack 9. Jamie's going to continue, lead out. Chase makes the snap call. And a 10 on the river gives Jamie back the check mark with a jack high straight. That's how you see a lead change on the flop, turn, and river right there. Chase was in the lead on pre-flop. Jamie's in the lead on the flop, Chase in the lead on the turn, and Jamie in the lead on the river. That's a change and a half.
While we're waiting for these next set of cards to come out, I just want to say thank you to Chris Carter. This is my first time doing the live stream. For those that know me, like I said, it is hard for me to not find something to say. And then whenever I joined the live stream tonight, I guess there's a first for just about everything. Even told my wife that I was having trouble finding something to say, and she was genuinely shocked about that. With the button on Christian, Jeremy is going to straddle for 10. Eric folds his hand. Donnie has 7-6-5-3, decides he wants to take a shot at it. Calls the 10 as well. Billy, Chase, and Jamie all come along. Back to Jeremy in the straddle, has pocket kings double suited. Pocket kings double suited, so he's got the heart and diamond draw, depending on what comes on the flop. And he is going to raise to $70. Action back over to Donnie. Donnie decides he still wants to come along. So Donnie comes along. He doesn't want to see hearts. With Billy, Chase, Jamie, and Christian all coming along as well, we are going to go 6 ways to this flop. If you are looking for somewhere with lots of action to play, you have seen that tonight. Kojaks has the action. Flop comes out. Ace of spades, ace of diamonds, 7 of diamonds. Jeremy is still in the lead with his pocket kings, does have the king high flush draw to go along with it. No aces in anyone else's hands. And Jeremy is going to lead out for $420. Most likely to go folds all the way around the table. Christian, the last one, he decides he's going to let it go as well. Jeremy is going to pick up another pot, adding another $350 to his stack, showing the stack sizes. So we got 10.3 for Jeremy, 5.2 for Billy, 3.9 for Christian, 3.4 for Chase, 3.4 for Donnie. 3.4 being the magic number right now. Button will be on Jeremy with Eric under the gun. He calls the 5. Donnie's going to look at his hand, King 10, 8, 6, with a suited king. And he's going to be coming along. Chase is going to raise to $25 with the 5 of diamonds, 4 of hearts, and pocket 3s. Charlie and I have already talked about the emergency 3s coming on the board. And he's going to get calls from everyone behind him. So we are going to go 5 ways to this flop, which comes out 9 of hearts, 4 of diamonds, and 7 of spades. So Eric does flop 2 pair with his 9s and 7s. Donnie is looking down at a straight draw. He's got an open-ended straight draw. He can hit a 5, an 8, or a 10. Jamie with the bigger straight draw. Correction. I thought I saw an 8 in his hand, so he's looking at a gut shot to a bigger straight draw. Jamie likes seeing that, and so he's going to lead out for the $100. Eric raises to $425 with his top 2 pair, trying to isolate and get rid of some of those other drawing hands. Donnie looks like he is quick to surrender his hand, turning it over to Chase. Oh, correction, that is not Donnie's hand that I see. So Donnie is still, action is still on Donnie, who decides to call the 425. Chase folds, and Jamie calls as well. 3-way action to the turn, with the pot sitting around 1.4 thousand. And with the 8 of clubs on the turn, Jamie is going to take the lead with the jack high straight. So Jamie is currently holding the nuts with jack 10. Eric is going to go all in for 2.1. Donnie, who also made his straight, the 10 high straight, is going to go all in for 3,000. Jamie, who is holding the nuts with jack 10, is thinking about it. And of course, he makes the call as well. So we'll give Miss Yvonne just a second to figure out where the pots are. We are going to have multiple all-ins on this one, and this is just a gross hand. So Jamie is 75% to win. Eric is looking for either a 9 or a 7 on the river. And it's going to be the 3 of hearts. Jamie's jack 10 is going to hold up. He's going to scoop that pot. He's going to scoop a $7,000 pot, adding 4,000 chips to his stack. Donnie can't believe it. Eric is standing up. Four outs to the nut straight, and it just drills it on the turn. 8 of clubs is the money card right there for Jamie. Button is going to move over to Donnie. Billy straddles for 10. We have about 17 more minutes left in this live stream. Do want to say thank you for staying with us and watching. But like Charlie and I said earlier, this game is going to continue well past when the stream ends. Chase is going to be coming along, and it looks like as soon as Chase makes the $10 call, it becomes $45 from Jamie. Jamie throws those 2 green chips out there. As you've seen, he's very quick to pot it, likes playing those bigger pots.
So we've got 5-way action going to the flop. 5-way action. So Donnie puts a stack all in. Donnie is all in. Billy bets $215. Chase calls the $215. Donnie's got a monster. Who's got diamonds?
There's no diamonds out there. So the flush is actually not something that Donnie would be worried about in particular for this hand.
Jack 9's in there, 10 9's in there. Jamie's looking for, or Chase is looking for a 10. Jeremy's looking for a jack. I don't think anybody can call 1800 though at that point. There is 2800 now in the pot. Jeremy's got over 10,000 now. Actions on Chase with Jack 9 8 6. Backdoor hearts looking for a 10 for the straight. Don't think that Billy's got a hand that could call this. I don't think he will call this. That's a lot of money on just double draw, backdoor hearts. Donnie looks quite comfortable. That's a good sign to have at the table, looking comfortable like that. Or somebody could read it as praying. He could be praying.
Well, he's already had aces cracked multiple times tonight, so that very well may be what he's doing right now.
Well, he's not even playing the aces. He's playing Queen 8. He's got 2 pair. He's in the lead at this point. Nobody's going to make that call. Well, Jeremy can. He's up huge tonight. Oh, that would be a brutal call if Jeremy does make the call and hits.
It looks like he's counting him out.
If he hits
a jack on the turn, so a jack
gives him the queen high straight.
A heart. So the way Donnie's pushing this, I mean, you can't really put him on backdoor hearts. So if the turn's a heart, it just gives him more outs.
He's got a 3, another 3, and he's got 3 threes. So he's drawn to a jack, running hearts, or a 3. He's 21% the hand to win the hand. That's not terrible odds. That's 1 out of 5. And you see him right here. What he's doing is he's doing the math. 2,200 in the pot. Donnie bets $1.1 thousand. So Donnie couldn't go all in. And Jeremy does make the correct fold. He wasn't quite getting the odds that he needed for that.
So here at Kojak's, we do not rabbit, but that's one of those hands that I might have been okay with that.
On that new live stream table, we might rabbit hunt just so those at home can see it.
With the top about 10 minutes left in the stream, action is on Chase. We do have a sleeper straddle from 10 in front of Jamie. Chase is going to go ahead and raise it up. So Chase makes it 10 to play. Should have seen that one coming. Jamie goes ahead and makes it 25. Christian very intent to watch the Canelo fight, so he lays his hand down. Jeremy is going to call with a pair of jacks in his hand, and Donnie's going to look down at pocket kings, double suited. So he decides he's going to go ahead and raise it up a little bit. He makes it 115 to play. Billy's going to make that call in the cutoff position right there. Chase calls, Jamie calls, back over to Jeremy, who makes the call as well. So we are going to go 5 ways to the flop. $575 in the pot. Flop comes out. 10 of spades, 5 of clubs, and 6 of hearts. Looks like Jamie is going to go ahead and lead out for that $200. And it looks like Jeremy, Donnie, and Chase all want to see that turn, which is the 8 of spades. So Chase is holding the jack high flush draw, as well as the 10 high straight. So he's got the 10 high straight with his 7-9. He's going to lead out for $1.4 thousand. So he's going to bet the pot. The action is going to fold around to him, and so Chase is going to pick that one up, add another $1.1 thousand to his chip stack. Jamie is under the gun. I don't think he's realized it yet. We normally see a straddle in this position, but there must be something exciting going on with that Canelo fight. See if he realizes and gets his straddle out there in time. So action over to Jamie. And he does not straddle. Opts to just go ahead and fold this one so he can go back to watching the fight. Christian is up. He's going to go ahead and pot it for $15. Jeremy comes along with 6, 5, 4, 3. Eric is going to go ahead and lay his hand down. Donnie calls for the 15, and it looks like Billy is going to re-raise. It looks like he's got about $50 in front of him. And that is correct. Billy 3-bets to $50 with Jack 10, 8, 7. With 4 players calling the $50 3-bet, it's going to go 5 ways to the flop. And it comes out Jack of Spades, 8 of Diamonds, and Deuce of Clubs. So we have 2 mystery hands in here. So it's going to be hard to see exactly what we've got going on. Looks like Christian is trying very hard to get his cards to read. And Billy, who 3-bet pre-flop for $50, flops top 2 pair. He's going to go ahead and continue that betting cycle, and he's going to bet $200 into this pot with his top 2 pair. Still don't know exactly what Chase has at the moment, but he makes the $200 call. Donnie lays it down, so we're heads up to the turn, and it is the 9. So based on what we have, Billy has the Jack high straight with his 7-8, or 7-10, I apologize, 7-10. Chase bets 200, Billy is quick to call. So now with the river being the queen of diamonds, Billy has the queen high straight. It's going to go check, check. Couldn't see exactly what Chase had, but he's going to win. Might have been playing the king 10 for the king high straight there. Jeremy is still our chip leader with 9.7. Billy has 5.5. Jamie has 5.4. Christian has 3.9. Chase is 3.8. Donnie is 2.5. And Tony still sitting with that 1,000 stack. And how many times have we seen this tonight where under the gun Christian or the under the gun player has pocket aces. So he has pocket aces double suited. He opts to go ahead and pot it for 15. And I will let all of you know who have been watching with us, this will be our last hand of the evening. We'll see if it's an actionable one. So Jeremy comes along, Donnie comes along. Chase is going to 3-bet to $80 with 5, 4, 4, 3. Jamie's going to call with pocket queens. Christian decides to flat. Go ahead and see 3 cards for that $80 and see what happens. And once again, we are going 5 ways to the flop. Flop is going to come out King of Hearts, Jack of Hearts, and 7 of Diamonds. So Jamie, with his pocket queens, also has the queen high flush draw. It's going to check over to Chase, who Chase leads out for $400. He was the pre-flop aggressor, so he's going to continue that. Jamie calls for $400. Looks like Christian is going to lay it down. Action over to Jeremy, who also lays it down. So we are heads up going into the turn. Jamie is looking for a heart in this spot. 4 of Diamonds is going to give Chase a set of 4s. So he raises pre-flop to 80. Continues that for 200 on the flop. And then just drills a dream card for him on that 4 on the turn. Chase checks. Jamie is going to fire $700 at it. He's got the queen high flush redraw. Once again, Chase sitting with his, and just like that on the river, Chase is going to make 4s full of jacks. He's going to check it. Jamie is going to go all in for $4,200. We're going to see if Chase is going to be able to find a call here. It is an overpair on the board, so it is likely that there is a variety of jack full hands. Pocket sevens also beats him. Pocket sevens, pocket kings, and then any jack with any of those cards on the board. Chase is not loving this as he goes into the tank. He's going to take his time to think about this. This is a big hand for him. There's $5.6 thousand in the pot. It's going to be his entire stack to call. He hit his dream card on the turn. He stays good on the river, but it's going to be his entire stack to make this call. And he calls. Chase is going to be able to find that call for four is full. Four is full is going to win it. Chase is going to double up on our last hand of the evening. And just like that, like I said, there is nothing short when it comes to action here at Kojak's. You're always going to be able to find the action. Sometimes it's going to be a sweat, but if you're looking for action, this is the place to be. With that being the last hand of the night, we wanted to thank y'all for watching and spending that time with us. Once again, we want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. Remember, men, do not forget your significant others, your wives, your girlfriends, or your mother role figures that are out there. And once again, we have our Deep Stack tournament tomorrow. $240 will get you $40,000 in chips. And with that, I want to say thank you for watching and hope that all of you have a good evening.